Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, I'm going to go over the trades that we took inside the private Discord, as well as the plan going into tomorrow, rest of the week. So this is what we looked like on the Friday contracts here. 30-minute time frame tells the trend. So obviously with the move CPI gave today, the 30-minute on the call side ended up crossing 10 went above the 50 on the 580 calls, and that means the market's bullish. We had the 50 curling up, means we're bullish. Since the calls are crossed. And then when we go to look at the 0-day chart, obviously we had a massive gap up, and that pretty much gave us no entry point on this chart right here. Yeah, we got this call cross right here. It looks really nice, but there was just no entry point. We ended up gapping up so much that there really wasn't any entry point. What I like to do is get an entry near the 10 SMA. We never got a pullback to it, not even close to it, up until this point up in here, which you could have taken for a little scalp, but there really wasn't a trade until later on in the day, and yeah, I'll go over that. But since we are bullish, you could buy this 50 dip down here, but I didn't. Reasoning behind it was because at the time the 30-minute time frame still looked a little like chalky of whether we're flip bullish or not. The 50 SMA kind of kept sloping up, sloping back down. So I told Discord I'm just waiting for a closure above the 10 to take a long. And you can see we ended up cracking right below the 50 SMA back in here, so that ended up playing out nicely. Didn't take this 50 dip, and then afternoon very choppy. There really wasn't any entry points down here. Again, you gotta know the certain types of trades you want to be taking with the system. Right here 10 went below the 50, and maybe at some point this 50 curled down a little bit, maybe not, but it doesn't really look like it at all. This is not a trade you want to be taking. The 10 going below the 50 on the call side, negative cross on calls, not a trade you want to take when the market's bullish, because 9 times out of 10 this comes right back up and crosses, and that's what happened today. I'm not sure this 50 curled or flattened out to even get an entry on the negative cross, but since we are trending bullish, you want to be taking trades in the direction of the trend. So I do see some people that are learning the system, and they take that trade. That's just not a trade you want to take. You want to focus on taking good quality setups, and that's how you do the best when trading the system, and you'll make the most money doing that. So all you had to do was just wait for the calls to cross, which didn't happen until later on in the day. If we go to this side of the chart, my mouse is completely broken. That's why I keep doing this. My mouse just doesn't stick when I click on it. But if we scroll in this area, you can see very, very choppy in this area. So 10 went above the 50, back right up in here. We didn't get the 50 to curl until this area right here at what time was this, 240, 245. That's when we got the 50 to curl up, because back in here this is not a valid cross to take. Why? Because this 50 SMA, as you can see, was trending down this entire time. When we finally crossed, the 50 was sloped down, so there's no entry point until right here. The 50 ended up curling up. You could have bought this 10 dip. I took this and rode this thing 40, 50 points. Very solid move. That was pretty much the trade of the day right there. There really wasn't any other setups you could have taken. Obviously, back in this area of the chart, really wasn't any trades to take. Maybe this 10 dip right here, but we came down to 50. No entry for me. I was looking for a reclaim of the 10 before going long again. That was just what I wanted to do for the day. 30-minute was crossed, so technically yes, but I was just waiting for the reclaim of the 10 today. And then once we broke below the 50, told Discord just wait for a cross on the call side again, wait for it to cross back up. We finally got the cross up. You got to be patient though, wait for that 50 to curl up right here, which was later on in the day, 245 to 240. Could have bought this 10 right here. It pretty much gave you the dead bottom before it ripped 40 to 60 points. So very simple day. You just had to be patient if you want to come out green on the day. If we go back to the 30, not the 30-minute, but the Friday contracts, this is what we look like. So on the call side, obviously we're bullish. 30 minutes cross, market's bullish. But when we go to the higher time frames, we got the 1 hour, which is not crossed yet. The 2 hour is at a pretty key spot here, which we already closed above, so I really wouldn't consider this much resistance at this point. And if we go to the higher time frames, 4 hour, this 4 hour 50 is sloped down super hard, which will definitely give some sort of rejection, I'd imagine, once we come up and tap that. And then same thing with the daily. At the moment, the daily is flat, but maybe it'll curl down a next candle or two. We'll just have to see how that plays out. But we have more news before open tomorrow, so it's kind of another we don't really know what's gonna happen kind of thing. Because if news dumps us, maybe we could buy this 50 dip down here, and that'd be a good trade take. Or if we don't dump too much, we could possibly even take a put cross if there's a massive gap between the SMAs, which it's a valid trade to take. It's just not as probable, since the market is trending on the 30-minute bullish. So a put cross isn't the most ideal thing in the world, but if we did get it, I would take it, because there's a big gap from where price is versus where the 50 is. So there's a lot of room to drop to the 50, and if a put cross happens in between there, as long as we're not right at the 50, I'll take that put cross. But you want to be taking trades in the direction of the trend, which would be the the upside. If we had like a call cross tomorrow, that'd be a trade you want to take. But again, if we did rip off a news, I mean, we'd probably be already crossed, and then you just look for a 50 SMA dip at that point. But yeah, either we pump up tomorrow off of news and the market's still bullish, look for 50 dips, look for a call cross. If the market dumps tomorrow, look for maybe a put cross if we're not around this 50, or look for this 50 dip right down here to buy, to go long, because this 50, it's a major pivot area, and when we come back down on the 50, that's a good spot to try along at. It's always best though for the 0-day chart to line up with this 50 SMA dip buy, which means pretty much like if puts do cross when we come down on this 50, and we get a nice move, wait for those puts to go negative, and that's pretty much like playing this 50 bounce. So that's like the safest way to play it, instead of just slapping long while the puts are crossed. If the puts are crossed when we come down to that 50, you could ride the move down to the 50 on the put cross if we get it, and then play the negative cross on the puts, since we are at a major pivot area. So that's pretty much the game plan for tomorrow. Both sides to play, depending on what we get. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I got. If you guys want to learn, join the Discord down below. Watch all the YouTube videos. But yeah, that's all I got. I'm out. Peace.